Right, you're going to do, right, everyone pay attention, you're going to do exactly what you've done for Jane, okay? So this is going to involve doing an outline, which I'll explain later. You can do the research, so you're going to look at potential hardware, software and operating system stuff that we can set up for Hari. Then we're going to like say, right, okay, of all that stuff I've done, what items am I going to put together to make a solution, an ideal solution, okay? Explain why they work together, just like you've done for Jane. Then you're going to do a rejected set, so you go through all your rejected, say, oh, I did pick this because blah blah blah. Then you're going to do your evaluation, so again you're going to talk about quality of life without using a solution, what your solution's going to give as a benefit, and then you're going to just couple of strengths, couple of weaknesses. Okay? Then you'll write a report in an appropriate format. Then you're going to make sure your bibliography is sorted out. Okay? So you're going to do that another 2 times. So you can use the same format. Don't copy paste and make the same sort of statements. This is one of the things where if you try and like rework something you've already written, it doesn't work. Alright, so you've got a structure to follow, but don't like follow what you've written already. Okay, so let's talk about Hari first. Office worker, so he's using all the standard applications on a computer, but he's had an accident and he's damaged his fingers. Now I'm not saying what specific issue he's got. He just can no longer operate individual keys on the keyboard, so he can press things down, but he hasn't got the resolution, the digital resolution anymore to like press an individual key or be steady pressing a key. Okay? He also, because of that, cannot operate a mouse. Okay? It isn't that he can't understand how to use a computer, he cannot physically interact. Our two main ways of interacting with a PC, keyboard and mouse. So if you want to put text in or do some like shortcut keys and stuff, you use keyboard. If you want to move the pointer around and select things, you've got to actually physically move the pointer with a mouse, and you've got to click. Can't do clicking. Can't move the mouse. Okay? But in order for him to be able to work effectively, he needs to be able to enter text. He needs to be able to control the mouse pointer. Okay? So whatever your solutions involve, they've got to involve being able to get text into that computer, and they've got to be involved in moving the pointer around, or finding systems that reduce the amount of pointer movement. Okay? It used to be easy back in the day before we had Windows and mouse interfaces, when you just had a keyboard. And that was it. You ran one program at a time, but we don't work like that anymore. Okay? There aren't many programs that run in DOS. In fact, there are none that you would normally use. But that's what we want to do. So he's got a real situation that he actually, when you come on to evaluation, he can't actually do his job anymore. So this is a real critical one. Okay? That's it, he's out of the job market if we don't try and provide a system for him. So he's, where Jane was a visual output thing for Jane, generally, this one is a input, getting stuff into the computer. That's what his issue overall is. Okay? So you'll find loads of stuff for this. So like anything that's moving the mouse pointer, like head tracking systems, eye tracking, you get really weird things. Look for gaming headsets as well, for like first person shooter heads, because people use those, I don't know why. Okay? Right, when you come on to Toma, he's suffering from colour blindness. Now, colour blindness is something that affects 1 in 10 males. Okay, it's something to do with the male chromosome, because it only affects 1 in 100 females. Okay, so there's probably a couple of us in here who've got colour blindness. Now, the problem with colour vision is nobody understands how everyone else sees. So what I'm seeing in here, and the way I'm seeing the colours and the light and the dark, is not like how you're seeing it. But there's no way of anyone understanding that. Colour blindness is caused when we get a failure in, there are 2 things inside the eyeball, cones and rods. Rods give us contrast, so this lets us see dark and light. The cones, the 3 different types, red, green and blue, they're the ones that let us see colours. Okay, they don't work in dark conditions. The colour receptors, the cones, which is why at night it's very difficult to work out the colour of things. Okay, and also if you've ever, you know, when you see something to the side of you and then when you turn you can't see it, that's because you've got rods in your peripheral vision. There's no colour, you can't discern colour in your peripheral vision, but they're there, densely packed, so you can see motion. Because it's a warning thing, peripheral vision. Because when you start getting older and you might get tunnel vision like we've got glaucoma, it's really quite bad. Subtle things, vision. So he's got colour blindness. Now he doesn't work in an office or anything like that. We don't know what his job is, we don't care. He wants to be able to use the computer to go on the internet and play games. So it's what specific issues he's going to have accessing content, and he's at a content problem when people haven't thought about colour blindness. The most common one, anyone know what it is?
What?
The colour blindness, the most common one there is. Red-green. Okay, now what that means is, if something is at the same intensity, the same hue, the red and green look no different. They look a sort of grey. So if you've got press the correct switch, which wire is it? Red or green? Red or green? Which one is it? Well, they're both grey. Okay, you're a bit screwed. And it happens in some games. If you're playing like multiplayer games, I know some people, some developers have actually thought about this carefully, but if you're playing a squad-based game and your foe are in red, with their name above them in red, and your players on your team are in green, you're a bit screwed if you kill them. I was going to blast everyone, minigun. Alright, so it's an accessibility thing. People who are colourblind are not allowed to be electricians or firemen. Because colour's key.
I wouldn't last very long, would they?
No, they wouldn't. So it's a safety thing. So what we've got to do, when you're looking for Toma, you're going to be very disappointed because you won't find much. Okay? Because it is something that content providers have to think about. So there will be some things to help you identify colours. So like software that lets you see what colours under the mouse. You can mess about and put high contrast mode on, which has helped, but it ruins the colour of everything else. But you've got to look at these things, and there are physical things. You can get like electronic devices that you can point at a colour and they'll read a colour. But you won't find a lot, so don't kill yourself trying to find stuff for Toma at the end. It's quite a short one, it's quite a depressing one really, because what you'll do at the end is, your advice will be, you need to petition content providers. So if you've got a website that you can't access very well, you need to contact the website creator and say, come on, give us a break. Okay, if you've got a game that you can't access, contact the games companies. To be fair, the games companies have enough problems with trying to make their games viewable on everybody's different types of telly.
Without glitches.
Well, you know, most of the games ask you to do gamma checking, don't they?
Yeah.
Where they say like, adjust the brightness so that you can just see this bar and you can't see this one and things like that. So that's just on brightness levels, let alone colour blindness stuff. But if they thought about it when they design a game, then that's easy. They can't do it afterwards because all the assets have been produced. Okay? So it's something that has to be designed at the start, thought in mind. Okay, so Hari's a nice, meaty, interesting one. You'll find loads of stuff. Don't go overboard and like spend 60 years doing it. We've only got 4 weeks, remember. Toma, bit depressing, to be fair, but it's there for a reason. That is a legislation thing which we'll come on to later. One of the reasons there's legislation to make content providers do it. Not that anyone's been tested yet, even though it's been around for ages. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, so input issues, colour blindness. Okay, I'll upload that to YouTube.
Some games.